Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible in golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
And welcome back to a new episode of the Skating Penguin Network recap show. It is your host, Robbie, coming to you from a miserable and cold western Pennsylvania, and joined on the other line by Snail, and we are here to talk about the Penguins' second to last game of the season, game number 80. They were in New Jersey this evening. This is their last road game of the year, so before we jump into it, Snail, how are things out there on the West Coast?
Still haven't gotten my package. Still haven't gotten an update. I actually emailed. I talked with the guy running the operation, and he gave me some really lame excuse as to why it hadn't updated, and it didn't make sense. So I turned into kind of a Karen, and I hate to be that guy. I actually went back at him, and I was like, look, man, if I don't have a confirmation verbally or like in some sort of official manner that things are getting fixed on your ends, just give me my money back. And he basically ignored me that evening, and then he got back to me the next day and said, I'm shipping you out your package right now. It should update by tomorrow morning. Well, it's tomorrow morning. It's still the same. No, it says UPS doesn't have my package yet. That's got me in a bit of a tizzy. It's not ruining my day, but it's in the back of my mind. But other than that, dude, it's beautiful out here. It's probably picking up the sound. My neighbor's mowing the lawn. It says it's only 52 degrees. Robbie, I went on a bike ride. I was in shorts and just a light crew neck sweatshirt, t-shirt. A little too cold on the bike for a t-shirt, but I was in shorts, man. It's nice out here. It smells like I can smell the flowers blooming. I feel like this time of year I get hit with a lot of those whiffs of air, and it takes you back to being like a child at recess.
Oh yeah, I have those. I especially get those. I kind of get those at like the end of what is the school year, and then like in late August, the beginning of the school year, I kind of get that smell is in the air of like, okay, school's ready to get back.
Yep.
And then this time of year, it's like, yeah, I remember being in school and like when the bell would ring to let us go, like you walk outside, it kind of felt like the end of school.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get those whiffs. So, all is good out here as far as that all goes. You said it's cold and miserable out in Western PA?
Yeah, the last few days have been absolutely just...
Are we talking snow maybe?
No, not snow. It was last week. We had some flurries fell. But I wake up in the morning earlier this week. My car was frozen.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was frozen. But right now, it's been. It's not freezing. It's just 40 degrees, and that Seattle type rain, I guess we'll call it. That misty light. It's cold and miserable, and I'm just hoping that at some point we can get a nice day or two here, just to feel human again. It has been just a miserable few days. But going back to your package, not to open that wound again,
Sure.
I don't blame you. I mean, it's been 2+ weeks now, and it seems like they're kind of yanking your leg a little bit on this whole thing. So yeah, I'd be frustrated too if I were you. I mean, you have every right to be.
What happened to customer service, Robbie?
Yeah, I said you have every right to be a Karen in this situation. I don't like going that route either, but at a point you can only push me so far before I need some answers. I need some kind of progress on this.
Yeah, because it's kind of a pain in the ass to go through the whole, like, I don't know, Robbie, I'm sure it's happened to you, like most people in this day and age, like, we've all had to like get a refund online, the 3 to 5 business days, and you got to get it, like you have to initiate it through your bank or through, like I use PayPal sometimes for stuff. It's like you got to file a claim, they got to ask you what's going on. It's like an investigation. You got to give them all your info, and then they got to reach out to them, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass. This guy is probably, probably in his 50s, and he's been running this operation for a long time, and it's funny, it just grinds my gears. I feel like if I was in his position, I'd be so stressed out. I'd be like, God, this guy hates me because I haven't given him his package of goods. And yeah, it just sucks having to come out. I got to gripe about it on the podcast. It's actually bugging me so bad. Everyone I come in contact with, I kind of bring it up. I'm like, God, I'm waiting for this package, and this guy's dicking me around, and I'm just being a baby about it. But I know
annoying.
It is annoying, and it's like, yeah, I'll get my money back. I'm not worried about not getting my money back because banks have all that covered pretty much. It's just the principle. I want the item I bought. Like, I desperately want it. Like, I want it in my home.
Yeah, and it's just and it's like you said, the whole hassle of, like, it's just not easy to do the refund thing. The only places I find it really easy to do the refund thing is like Amazon.
They made it so easy.
They make it so easy to return something, get a refund, cancel an order, but it seems like nobody else wants to streamline that, and it gets really frustrating. And like, again, I don't want to say Amazon's the best company in the world or anything.
Yeah,
but
careful with that one.
Yeah, but you can the convenience sometimes it just outweighs everything else. I mean, I want to order this one thing. I want it here as soon as possible. And if something's wrong, I just want to make it as hassle-free as possible. That's all I really want. It's frustrating when it's literally the exact opposite of that. And it seems like it's gotten worse since even the past 5-10 years.
Yeah, it's gotten worse, and it's funny you bring up Amazon. Like, there's a split amongst the people in my life that are either on more, sounds like you think a lot more like me, that the convenience of Amazon, the prices, you go to like a store, and half the times nowadays in stores, like you go to do you have Best Buy out there? Is that it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so like you go to a Best Buy, 90% of the time they're like, yeah, we don't even carry this stuff on our shelves. You have to buy it from us online, so you're ordering it anyways. But then you go on Amazon, and it's like, this will be on your doorstep, overnight delivery, and it's $30 cheaper. Part of me is just like, dude, in the economy, the things, the way things are in this world, how do you turn that down? And then I have other people in my life that are split the other way. They got rid of Amazon Prime. They got rid of Amazon, like, for watching TV shows and stuff and movies. And they've been making a point to spend more at other places to support smaller businesses, which, hey, I'm for it. Support small businesses. But I am I'm an instant gratification guy, dude. And like, if people want to hate me for that, I've been that way since I was a little kid. I want my toy. Christmas morning, I won't get up for school on time when I'm in 3rd grade, and I'll whine about that. But Christmas Day, I'm waking them up. I'm like, you want me to get coffee for you? And my mom's like, it's 6:30 in the morning. Go back to bed. That's just the way I'm wired, Robbie. And they've got me by the cojones with that. So yeah, I think I'm valid for my gripes with this 2-week. It's been 16 days.
I don't blame you. That's too long to wait, especially with no, like, if it was a back ordered item or something they had to hand make, different story. But if this is something that said in stock, and now they're just kind of giving you the runaround with customer service, I would be fed up too and ready to get that solved and over with one way or the other. Either give me my money back or give me my item here.
Exactly. And I want confirmation. I'm looking at my email every 25 minutes after this conversation, waiting for that update. So Anyways, that's what's going on in my world out here, out in the great Pacific Northwest. Robbie, I think before we dive into this game, because this is what this podcast is about, the Penguins pull off a win in Jersey, which never happens in this day and age. We'll get to that. But, dude, RIP to Ray Shero. You know, Robbie, you and I are of that age where, you know, before general manager Jim Rutherford, who was, you know, often seen as like just the mastermind of the back-to-back runs in putting together those teams. We grew up in an era, I mean, we grew up in many eras of Penguins, but those potent years, Ray Shero was the one at the helm, really moving and shaking for this Penguins team.
Absolutely. I mean, the Penguins, 09 starting off, obviously he helped. He didn't draft Crosby or Fleury or Malkin, but he brought in guys like Stahl. He was the one that pulled the trigger on the massive Kunitz trade, which played off in multiple years, not just that 09 year. He's the one that brought in guys like Fedotenko and Shatan. They got them.
Dude, Fedotenko, no one talks about that guy very often. On all the hockey podcasts, no one really brings up Fedotenko. That guy was unreal.
Yeah, he has a Game 7 winner with Tampa Bay. He had 2 goals in that Game 7. But if you look at, he got extensions done with Crosby, Malkin, Fleury, Letang. He was the one that I kind of memory hold this, but back when they were looking to make that Kunitz trade, they were looking to ship off Chris Letang was actually the more viewed as the
trade piece.
He was. I'm trying to think. They weren't totally sold that he was going to be better than Ryan Whitney. Let's put it like that.
And they had Goligoski coming up the pipeline, right?
And they basically assessed it and said, because Ryan Whitney was supposed to be the anchor on that blue line for years. Yeah. And they ran through the assessments and decided to stick with the Tang and ship out Whitney. And you look what it is now. I mean, you can't.
Dude, Whitney's career did not. He did not age gracefully. Let's just say that.
No. But then.
Did they get the best years out of Ryan Whitney? Like, did they pretty much get his best years?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because he wasn't. When he was in Anaheim, I don't think he was like a number one power play guy there by any means.
Honestly can't remember.
And when he was in Edmonton, I don't know what was going on in his career then. I'm not trying to be a big hater on Ryan Whitney. Obviously, he's brought a lot to hockey post-career. We all know about the podcast that he started up with those fellas out in Boston. But like, dude, you know, I'm not trying to carve him or anything, but dude, Shero might have made that was like a franchise-altering trade. And
absolutely.
You bring up Letang being maybe one of the bigger. You know, like you got Ryan Whitney, he ended up being an Olympian, and then you got Goligoski in the pipeline as well. Like, they kind of had a logjam at defense, and they ended up. I think they made the right move.
Oh, absolutely. But then somebody else mentioned, like, obviously he was gone prior to the back-to-back cups, but Gensel was drafted by Ray Shero. Brian Rust was drafted by Ray Shero. A lot of those guys on those teams were here because of Ray Shero. And again, he emptied the clip when it came to making the Penguins as competitive as possible. It didn't always work out, and a lot of that is what led him to being eventually removed. And obviously, we look back now, like, obviously you're never going to turn down the 2 cups, obviously, but
no.
A lot of that the core of that team in 2016 and 2017 was because of Ray Shero. So,
and my favorite trade of all time being the one involving Jarome Iginla, and they got to the conference final.
That was brought up a lot in the past few days. A lot of people going back. He pulled off the Marian Hossa trade too. A lot of people
him to sign, dude. That would have been.
A lot of people
think they'd have another cup with Hossa.
I'm trying to like. Does Chris Kunitz ever happen without Marian Hossa? If Marian Hossa signs, like, I mean, there was so much that
you almost don't need Kunitz when you've got Hossa, though.
Yeah, I think that him and Crosby would have put up just some like bonkers numbers because like Hossa was already an elite player when he came to Pittsburgh, and then it
was no secret back then. It's not like he was some sleeper He was a star back then.
Yeah, he was like, that was a true blockbuster NHL trade. And the Penguins gave up fan favorite players to get him. Like, they gave up Eric Christensen and Colby Armstrong, who were loved in Pittsburgh, and Hossa was here for 2.5 months. But the chemistry with Hossa was immediate with Crosby. And getting back to what was the other trade we were talking about?
I said the Iginla one.
Oh yeah, people are really like remembering how insane that night was, and it happened so late. Everybody thought he was going to Boston, and then it all of a sudden comes down that the Penguins brought him in. They ended up getting the deal done. An insane night, and I really thought that was the piece that was going to get them to a cup final.
Well, the offense just dried up against Boston. It was weird. Like
Tuukka Rask played, and he was out of his damn mind in that series. And again, the Penguins were not the better team in that series, but if Tuukka Rask isn't playing like on rookie, then the Penguins at least make that a series. But yeah.
Yeah, that was a sweep, wasn't it? 4 up, 4 down.
Yeah, 4 up, 4 down. Yeah.
Sheesh.
I think they scored 2 goals in the entire series.
Yeah, every summer I watch that series at least one time through. It's one of my favorites. I mean, not that run, but it always ends at the Boston one, and I always because there's that. I remember Sid and Chara. Sid is jawing at Chara. And it was weirdest thing.
That was the Douglas Murray team, right? I think it was
the Douglas Murray team, as in the Bruins.
No, the Penguins. I think they had Douglas Murray that year.
Douglas Murray,
defenseman, crankshaft.
Was that in 2014?
Douglas Murray, he played with the Penguins. Yeah, 2013. Yeah, he came from San Jose.
Yeah, not on my radar when I'm watching that team. But yeah, they had
Brendan
Douglas
Morrow,
Murray, Brendan Morrow,
Iginla, obviously.
Iginla, James Neal.
That was the year that they basically, I forget who they played in the first round. 2013. That would have been the Islanders. That was the Brooks Orpik overtime winner on Long Island. And then they basically made the Senators tap out. Like, legitimately, Daniel Alfredsson quit after, like, game 3. Like, he was just like, I'm done. I can't. We're not coming back in the series. We're done. It was very funny.
That. The Penguins, just ever since that first series within the Crosby era that they got waxed by them, the Penguins just own Ottawa. That was also the year that I think was that not the series where Malkin fought Patrice Bergeron?
I don't know. That series went off the rails pretty quickly. I think it was. Now that you say that, I do believe that is correct.
Yeah. Anyways, electric stuff. We could get off topic. Quit talking about times of old.
We're always off topic. So this time of year,
Ray Shero basically was the guy behind. I think Robbie. Would you say he was behind some of your favorite trades as a Penguins fan?
Oh, I mean, the Hossa trade alone was like the official, like, okay, we're all in now. Like, we're going. And then, like, the Iginla trade, obviously.
The Neal
trade. The Neal trade. Yeah, I forgot about the Neal trade.
Niskanen and Goligoski, I think, right?
Yeah, Goligoski went out. Niskanen came in. Niskanen's, like, low-key one of my, like, kind of, like, underrated Penguins during this era. Like, he never won a cup here.
Good.
But he was really good. He got paid. But again, he kind of made the priority. Like, he kind of established who the core 4 were with Fleury, Letang, Crosby, and Malkin. Like, Shero did that. He kind of and then he's the one that made the Stahl trade that led to Brian Dumoulin, Ole Mata.
Sutter.
The Sutter trade, which eventually then was turned around and made into
Bonino.
Bonino, yeah. So that trade tree really branches out too. So, nuts how that all turned out. But we've been talking for 18 minutes and have not even talked about the reason why we're here.
Yeah, I just thought we should talk about,
Oh, no.
Ray Shero, rest in peace. I watch this multiple times a year. This is that DVD I always wax poetic about.
What year's that?
This is the 2006 2007
That was
season in review.
That was a really fun season because that was like, I mean, after years of being not good, like that was the Malkin was there, Stahl was there, Crosby was. I think Crosby won MVP that year, maybe. But
I think that's the year. That was the year that they lost to Ottawa.
Yeah, they became fully established that year. Like they're going to be a problem for a very long time.
He talks in this DVD a lot. Ray Shero is like it's just interviews and talking about moves they made, why they made them, this and that. And Ray Shero, he gets humanized in this quite a bit, and you get to hear him really talk about, what he's doing as the GM, and talks about being brought, because he got brought in that year. And it was, I became a huge fan of the person Ray Shero in that. And everywhere he went, dude, like he was just so good. We only know him through what he does professionally. Like we don't know him personally, unless Robbie, you have some big secret that you were best buddies with him.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah,
but he seemed like just like a great dude, like a great guy. GMs, they have a hard job; they have to be cutthroat, and he was when he needed to be. But boy, did he seem like just like a good guy that. I rate people on whether I'd want to have a beer with them. I would like to crush beers with Ray Shero, and
that would have been I could see that. Ray Shero seems like the kind of guy that was down to crush beers at literally about any time. So,
dude, yeah, wouldn't it be cool to crush beers with him and like talked about like how trades went down, or like I would always love our GM to write a book about the trades that almost happened, and he's one that I would like to know when he was gunslinging for the Penguins and they were starting to really become contenders every year. What offers came across that desk of his, but we'll never know. He takes him to the grave, and it's a damn shame because he seemed like a great guy. So
he did, and a team that he also was a general manager for after Pittsburgh was the Devils.
Right. And he wasn't down setting foundations there either.
Yeah, and he kind of began this ascent that they've had in New Jersey with his work there. Again, he was working with the Minnesota Wild. Was his last job before he passed away. The Penguins were in Newark tonight. And listen, if you have not heard me say this year at all, New Jersey scored in the first shot of the game.
Dude, Robbie, quickly, I'll shut up after this, but I missed the very beginning of the game because I actually went to the hockey store. I needed to get more tape. I went to go get hockey tape today. And I was talking to the guy behind the counter, and I felt like a dork wearing the Penguins sweatshirt. But I just wear this. I wear this sweatshirt all the time, so it's not.
I love that. I love that '90s kind of like team like print. Like,
dude, me too, man. I got this.
I love the nostalgia.
It's a old like Wrangler sweatshirt. But I was in there, and he was like, this guy. He was like, hey, man, I don't know if you're a Jersey guy or not, but all the teams that didn't make the playoffs this year, jerseys are only 120 right now. And I was just like, oh, yeah, thanks, man. Like, and he was just like, no, I'm just kidding. The Kraken jerseys are on sale, too, and they're right there. But he started talking about the Penguins and the Kraken, and I was like, I actually said, yeah, Jari just sucked this year. He lets in the first goal and the first shot. I head out of the store. And when I'm leaving the store, I'm only like 10 minutes away from my house. Yeah. Jari let in the first shot on the first goal. On the first shot of the game was a goal.
Yep. Eric Holla, 15 seconds in, first shot, 1-0 Jersey. And then 6 minutes later, Andre Palat, it wasn't the second shot of the game, but he makes it 2-0. And it looking bad. At this point, I was like, not good. And if I would have known this stat before the game, I would have probably turned it off. But Bob Grove, Penguins historian, this is the 62nd all-time game that the Penguins have fallen down or trailed by 2 goals in Jersey. Coming into the night, they'd only won 4 of them.
4 out of 62?
Yeah, heading into tonight's game. If they fell behind 2 goals in New Jersey, they had only won 4 times out of 62 tries.
Yeah, I'd take my gear off and head home.
Yeah, so, but credit to the Penguins. Evgeny Malkin, who maybe he needs to not play 82 games. He's been on fire since coming back. He gets his 16th of the year to make it 2-1 at the end of the first period. And from that point on, it was all Penguins. Valtteri Puustinen back in the NHL on the power play from Malkin and Grzelcyk makes it 2-2. And that's how it remained after the second period. And then they kind of remained tied until late in the third. Crosby gets down on one knee. Brian Rust with a wicked pass to Crosby in front. Unstoppable if that gets past the defense. Crosby just there to knock it right in. His 32nd of the year. Rust and Grzelcyk with the assist. So another assist for Grzelcyk here. And then Brian Rust, career high, 29 goals.
Does he get 30?
I think they're going to do everything they can to empty
They're going to be feeding him like Ovechkin.
Yeah, he's going to be getting every shot he can these next two games against the Bruins and Capitals. He gets number 29 into the empty net. Crosby again. Crosby's now 1 point away, from another 90-point season. Stupefying, insane to say. But the Penguins end up winning this game. Ville Koivunen got an assist on the empty netter too. So his 4th assist, he's still searching for that first goal.
Dude, he tried at the end. He shot that puck into the empty net with like 0.4 seconds. He was like, just come on, buzzer beat. It didn't make it there. But I saw him give it a college try, as they say.
Yeah, so he gets another assist on the Rust empty netter. The Penguins wrap this one 4-2. I mean, there's not much to say at this point in the season. My biggest takeaway from this game, overall, watching both teams, Carolina's going to run through this Devils team.
Oh, yeah. It's
going to be like, again,
you're relying on Cody Glass and Daniel Sprong to replace Jack Hughes. Smell you.
They're
later.
Lucky that they built enough of a cushion early in the season, because if they would have been like a marginal bubble team, I think somebody would have chased them down because, I don't know. The Metro was a little down this year, so I don't know if anybody in the Metro would have chased them down, but maybe Columbus could have done some damage there.
Columbus, you'd give Rangers some room to get in there. God.
Yeah, but
dude, if this injury stuff happened, I would say even a month earlier, like a month worth of games earlier, they probably fall out because these guys are sinking quickly.
Yeah, they're not. They are, man. They've lost 2 in a row now. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10, and it's got to be even worse before that. They are struggling even on home ice to win hockey games. It just seems like everybody's hoping for that Carolina-Washington series, and I think Washington, if you look at who they might play, might be in for a tougher battle than what Carolina is, because Carolina, they're playing very good hockey right now, and it's just two teams going in opposite directions, and this time of year, that's usually bad news for the team that's on the downward.
Yeah, if you get New Jersey, I just feel like you just hope you're going to probably beat them, but you just got to come out of it unscathed. That's the thing. If you can get to the second round with no injuries, because Jersey, I mean, they got some. I mean, they were built for a run this year. They have that Stefan Nason dude's a tough guy to play against. They've got Brendan Dillon, Dawson Mercer is a skill guy, but he plays a hard game. Paul Cotter is just a hit machine. I mean, they're built to take that force of a playoff series, but they don't have Dougie Hamilton and Jack Hughes, and so without that, I don't know what you're going to get against a team like them right now. But Carolina is starting to get hot at the right time. You wonder, you take away Natchez, you take away Rantanen, you got Stankoven, who's not going to, he's not going to fill those shoes per se, but I feel like he fits in there. Like
he fits what Rob Rendamore wants to do better than. I mean, he almost plays like he's built in a lab for that system.
I know, it's weird.
It is weird, but hey, sometimes kind of like it's a solid, like a mini Sullivan type thing. Like there were certain guys that came to Pittsburgh early in the Sullivan system that basically looked like they were cloned by Mike Sullivan to play in that system. Nick
was build a character.
Yeah, Nick Bonino being one of those guys. Sherry being one of those guys. Rust as well. Just were kind of like built to play the kind of system that Mike Sullivan wanted to play. And when it works,
they had Kevin Rowney and they had
Carter Rowney.
Carter Rowney. I get him and Kevin Rooney confused. Scott Wilson. He never played a lick again after he left Pittsburgh. He was
in Buffalo for like a year, and then he went to Europe for a while, and I don't even know if he's playing anywhere professionally.
He is. Now. He's still playing in Europe. I saw he had
I
saw he had a goal like in some game. It was Scott
nice.
Wilson.
All right.
And then they had he's this big sweet Oscar Sundqvist. That fourth line was a Sullivan-esque fourth line.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very just grind you to dust, kind of make it a miserable experience to play against you.
It gets sticky down in your end when you're with the fourth line. If you have a good one under Sullivan, but no Matt Nieto's back then. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but man, the Penguins, man, I'm just like, as bad as the season's gone and frustrating as it's been, I'm very excited for the offseason now, just because we're kind of seeing, like, again, McGroarty coming up and Koivunen coming up and showing what they have has definitely given me a boost of optimism. Murashov, even if he's not quite ready, is giving that boost of optimism. And it sounds like everything that Dubas says, like, there's going to be a lot going on this summer. And,
he has his work cut out for him, Robbie. This is, like, we say it every year, like he was handed a shit sandwich and he's been trying to do his best with it. But every year he's going to be, the classic Dubas gif where he's got two phones. That's going to be him this summer.
Yeah, the video, him at the draft holding a phone to each ear. Yeah, he might just have a third on speaker then. Out of frame, but
like a headset with a Bluetooth on, and he's got three different guys on the line. You never know.
You don't. And it seems like even guys like Timmins and Dewar coming over and being very contributing hockey players. Like, it feels like it's been such a long time since we had guys playing either third pairing or fourth line that have been like have had a pulse for more than like one or two games at a time. Because Timmins and Dewar have both been just kind of given a shot in the arm to this team a little bit. And if you can get that kind of play for 82 games, I'm looking forward to maybe bringing them guys back next year. I'm just excited.
I'll go on record and say it. Connor McDewar, as I've been calling him, I want him. And Connor Timmins, AHL defenseman that I've chirped when he scored on the Penguins. I really like that guy's game, dude. Every game he like haunts me. Every game I just can't help. He's number 20. I keep thinking he's Lars Eller.
Oh, and yeah.
He's a right shot though on the back end, and he's a noticeable guy. He's pretty big, and he's not flashy. And you have Carlson and Letang and Grzelcyk that bring plenty of flash, and it goes the other way on you. I don't need flash. I need steady Eddie, comfortable with the puck. He looks comfortable out there with the puck, and he's big. Like he makes a good first pass, which is really important for Sullivan's system. I ISO cam on him, and I just eat my words every game. And I found myself being a fan. Like, I might have a jersey by the end of summer.
Can I give a hot take here?
Yeah, go for it.
If I was in Kyle Dubas' shoes, and maybe we'll have to do a Mal in Kyle's shoes at some point once the season wraps up and things settle down a little bit. If I had to make a choice, I would prioritize moving Chris Letang before Erik Karlsson.
At the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, get deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Now's the best time to get that Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with America's Best Warranty and 3 years or 36,000 miles of limited complimentary maintenance. Don't think you can get away with all that? Think again. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. It's a great day for a new Hyundai.
Since you're new to H&R Block, we'll look at your returns from the last 3 years for any money your last guy might have missed, for free.
I could get money back from last year?
You could. We'll find any mistakes.
Could have really used that 2 years ago when I dated that mistake for 5 months.
Don't leave money on the table. Switch to H&R Block and get a free second look review. Second look is included at no additional cost with the purchase of tax preparation. Results vary. All tax situations are different. Fees apply if you have us file an amended return.
It's time to rewrite the vacation rules. With Royal Caribbean, your family can look forward to just about anything. Break the thrill barrier, roaring down the tallest water slide in North America. Jump into breathtaking jungles and jaw-dropping coves. Vibe off the charts on our private island Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And end the day knowing things are just getting started. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Campfire season's back, and that means s'mores. But when you're at home treating yourself, take them over ice with Dunkin' S'mores Cold Brew Concentrate. And suddenly you're always treating yourself. The home with Dunkin' is where you want to be. Click or tap the banner to shop now.
Thank God we see things the same way finally. It's been years.
Again, a lot would obviously come down to Erik Karlsson wanting to be here. Because there's times this year where it looked like, boy, this could get bad. But I think if you go to Erik Karlsson with a blueprint showing like, okay, this is the route we're going to take, I think you can get buy-in for at least another season. And if it doesn't work, then you can talk about trading him or whatever. But I think just because like there's been times this year where Letang has just outright struggled for the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
You see the flashes with Karlsson that he's just doing stuff that nobody else can do on the blue line. Like it's alien almost.
No, he's like Phil Kessel was always considered like a natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Erik Karlsson has got he's cut from the same cloth. He's a natural, and you know, Robbie, you said if at some points Karlsson looks, maybe you didn't say disinterested, but it looked like it was going to be a long year.
Yeah.
Karlsson looked like that in Ottawa. He looked like that in San Jose at times. Like he is just that's just his demeanor, and he's made it abundantly clear. You know, he's a Penguin until he's not, but he said he wants to win in Pittsburgh. And you know, a little bit, I think, Robbie, how much do you think of it is Sidney Crosby that Karlsson's hitched his wagon to Sid? Do you feel like there's that relationship exists sort of where Karlsson's looking around the league and he's like, yeah, I could go to a contender, but my ticket's so big. Contenders don't usually have the cap space. The Penguins aren't in a tank mode where they're willing to just take on draft picks for that contract and retention and all that. They're not in a place for that. He probably looks at Sid and he goes, you know, they're buddies off the ice. It seems like they have a good relationship. Karlsson seems to love him. It's like, dude, it's the organization has made it clear they're going to do what they can for Sid, and why not be Karlsson hitching your wagon to that guarantee?
I think if Crosby would sit down with Karlsson sometime after the season's over and said, hey, this is what the plan is. I believe in the plan. Let's run it back and see what we can do. You know you're going to get Malkin another year, and Malkin, despite the injuries, has still shown flashes of being Evgeny Malkin.
You might just need to rest him every 15 games.
Yeah, like you might just need to make him like, okay, he's going to play 72 games or 75 games. Give him a night off, set him on some back-to-backs, just kind of manage him. Because like in the playoffs, you obviously can't do that. But if you want to make a run at the playoffs, why not rest him as much as you can during the season and just be like, Gino, just cut it loose in the playoffs. Just empty the tank as much as you can. Just whatever you got left.
Because next year's his last year, right?
On the contract, yeah. So as far as we know, like it potentially very well could be his last season. Just tell him, like, save as much as you can during the regular season. Let us try to get to the playoffs and then just empty the tank. Give us everything you got for one last chance.
I love that. I don't see why, you know, because if the Penguins are going to actually make a push for the playoffs next season, and Malkin's got to contribute. He's like, if they're going to make the playoffs, he's got to. I mean, this year he's up to 16 goals. I don't know what he's at point wise, but it's one of those things that it's like, I mean, if he could even contribute that next year with Ponomarev, with Koivunen, with McGroarty, hopefully some sort of new tandem in net, for Christ's sake.
Nothing really matters what they do this year if they don't figure out what the goaltending position is. I mean, that's really the bottom line of everything. If they don't fix that, I really don't think it matters who they bring back or who they trade away. You can maybe marginally improve yourself in the standings, but I think at that point, you're just probably hurting yourself in the long run, because if you want to be bad, just be bad and try to get the draft pick. But if you want to make an honest-to-God effort at competing, you got to fix the goaltending.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, dude, I can't see Jari back in Pittsburgh next year. Like, I don't.
Listen, he has 2 games to completely just show out yet.
To change the minds of the masses.
Just go. Just like let him ball out for 2 games.
Let him ball out. I'm on board with that. I mean, Nedeljkovic, he got so many games in at the end of last year, and he played so much this year.
Insane. Yeah.
Like, just let him, like, just shut him down. Like, send him to, like, get him on vacation early. Maybe get him to the Masters and just let him chill in Georgia for a little bit. And let Jari have the net for the rest. Bring up I still wanted to see that one fella in Wilkes, that other goaltender they had that was
Larson.
Philip Larson. He didn't get a single game this year. It just made no sense.
He's been hurt. He's been banged up, and outright, yeah. Because Blomqvist was the backup tonight to Murashov. So
bring up Blomqvist again, or some fella from down
figure
there.
Out, got to do something.
But you're right. It doesn't matter the moves that Dubas makes. They can ship Letang out. They can have that tough conversation about Carlson, Letang. The kids can play, but the goaltending is priority number one. And God, you hope he doesn't have to go a buyout route, because with the cap raising, the last thing you want is dead weight if you want to be in contention again. But man, maybe take one of those draft picks that you've accumulated and just find a team that's going to be a dumpster fire. Chicago. I'd be like, Chicago, here's another draft pick. You're going to stink again next year too. Take Jari.
Yeah, Chicago's.
And Pierre-Olivier Joseph.
Yeah. They even Dubas came out this week and said, like, the defense has so many holes, we got to fix it. He basically just straight up said, like, yeah, we got to fix it. It's bad.
I mean, at least he comes out and says that stuff, so it's not us just like beating the drum, hoping that we get people on board to be like, yeah, the defense does suck. Let's just say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But dude, speaking of some of these, the off season to come and all that, Brucker McGroarty was shut down for the rest of the season for 2 games.
3 games. Brucker McGroarty is out for the season. They didn't really say too much other than that. There is a chance though he could come back in the AHL playoffs, depending on how far the baby Penguins get. But all we really know is he is done in Pittsburgh for this season.
They didn't say what it was?
Nope.
I didn't even see anything really.
Yeah, I know he left. He left was it the last game? I believe the last game early. But other than that, they just said he's done for the year.
Shoot, that's a shame. I remember I saw him get bumped down a line. He wasn't on Sid's line anymore, and then maybe missed some shifts. So you hope he's all good, because you want him to make a run with the baby Pens.
Yeah, I definitely want guys like Koivunen and McGroarty playing as much hockey this spring, summer as possible. So hopefully the baby Penguins can stay alive long enough, and for McGroarty to get back and get more game action before the offseason fully arrives.
100%. Robbie, but quickly here, before we only have the one game to cover, I was gonna there's some NHL news though that's like probably worth just touching on quickly. You sent me a thing the other day out of nowhere, and Gabriel Landeskog is playing in the AHL on a conditioning stint. Yep. He hasn't played hockey since the day he hoisted Lord Stanley. Dude, what a bump for the organization, the Avalanche organization. For if he, it's not guaranteed. Like he still needs to clear this conditioning stint. In that knee surgery, he had like knee ligament transplant. Some talk about like experimental kind of hope and a prayer to get that knee back to being able to play hockey. I think he has a documentary coming out about his trials and tribulations of getting healthy again. But Robbie, I guess Cale Makar and Nate McKinnon are boots on the ground at the Colorado Eagles game that he's playing in. Where are you at with Landeskog potentially being back in the NHL?
Obviously, the caveat being he can get like everything looks good through conditioning. That is a significant boost for the Colorado Avalanche, who are going to be in a war of a first series with the Dallas Stars. So yeah, I mean, anything that can help them has got to be welcome. It's been over 1,200 days since he last played a professional hockey game. Multiple knee surgeries, a full-on cartilage replacement in his knee, and just a pretty incredible. As we record this, he is playing out in Colorado. So I don't know exactly how long he has. The playoffs start next Saturday in the NHL. So, I mean, yeah, if it's just this weekend, they see how it goes. And then do they get him a. Now, again, there's probably cap considerations. He might not be actually able to play in the NHL regular season. But, yeah, I think it would be a significant boost, even if it's just from a morale standpoint. Like, they've played without a captain for 3 years. So, yeah, having him back would have to be a huge mental boost to that Colorado team, in at least to start in what is sure to be a battle of a series with the Stars.
How many days did you say it's been since he played? Did you say 1,200?
Over 1,200 days, yeah.
God.
It'll be it'll be 3 years because he lifted the cup in June of 2022 and has not played since.
Lord Almighty, Garrett wasn't even born yet when that happened.
yeah. Garrett was just an embryo in the womb.
Yeah, he was.
The last time
he might have just been a thought in his parents' mind.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, but no.
Wow, that is something, and let's hope that he it's hard not to cheer for a guy like Gabe Landeskog who just plays the right way. You know, the skill's always been there. He was never like a superstar skill-wise, but the leadership, the durability and everything you want in like just a blue-collar captain from Sweden of all places.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. So good for him. The other thing I wanted to touch on here was this Isaac Howard kid. He wins the Hobey Baker, and Tampa Bay has not signed him. He's going back to college. Robbie, doesn't this just reek of something that Dubas wants to have his fingerprints all over?
Somebody mentioned that Dubas should already be tampering. In this. Yeah, so he is going back to college for another season. I guess it is Tampa Bay can't sign him because they don't have the money. They don't have the money to sign him. He just won the Hobey Baker as the college hockey's top player. He is going to Michigan State for his next year. But yeah, Tampa Bay basically doesn't have the resources to sign him. So he's going to hit the free agent market next spring whenever Michigan State's season would end. And it certainly does not sound like he is going to be in Tampa Bay. So, yeah, somebody already said that Dubas should already be tampering.
They should be tampering in some capacity. And I want to say, Robbie, I could be wrong on this, but I was glancing over someone who wrote about this as well. Tampa has to sign him by August this summer, or else they will lose him to free agency next year.
Okay, so it is this summer.
So I think he had till August to clear that cap space and sign him. Are you going to see a desperation play? Like, I don't think Tampa Bay, they could win the cup. Let's say they don't win the cup, and let's say they make it to like the second round, and you don't see are you going to see a desperation move where they dump salary as soon as possible? Or if they, what's their GM? Julian Breezewall said he'd rather have a roster full of good players than picks or whatever. Do they find a way to like trade or walk from this guy?
Would not surprise me if Howard is set on not playing in Tampa Bay. I could absolutely see him being traded. I would not surprise me at all. McGroarty last year was going back to Michigan until because he wasn't going to play in Winnipeg. The Penguins made the trade and he signed like 24 hours later.
That's right. He was going back to college until
the Penguins traded for him, and it would not surprise me one bit if a situation like that arises again. They just say that he's not going to sign there, or if Tampa Bay just does not feel like they can make the moves necessary by August to clear enough cap space for him, that they just decide to make a move at some point to see if they can trade him.
Because the problem is now still trade his rights, though, right?
Yeah, but the problem is, unless there is a guaranteed deal between Howard and the acquiring team, Tampa Bay is not going to get anything. They're going to get a mid-round pick, maybe. Not going to get near value. Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, that's where it gets tough because that's where you want Dubas tampering, right?
Yeah, like the McGroarty situation, like he didn't have to be signed by August. Like he just wasn't going to play in Winnipeg. Like, and they were able to get obviously the 1-for-1 swap for Braden Yeager. That's a little bit the price rose there a little bit. But yeah, with Isaac Howard, if the clock is up in August and Tampa doesn't feel like they can do anything, they're going to have to either do a sign and trade or eat a massive loss on Isaac Howard. So big thing to watch going forward because the Penguins are in a position where a guy on an entry-level deal like Isaac Howard, that's more than affordable for a team like the Penguins right now with the cap space.
Oh, could you imagine how that would speed up where the Penguins process if they land a guy like Isaac Howard playing in your top 6 potentially next year?
Fundamentally changes the entire outlook of the rebuild.
And then you got a guy like you talk about the kids, like you'll have McGroarty, you'll have Koivunen, you'll have, if you had Isaac Howard, you throw that in there with Gino, Raquel, Russ. I mean, that would be something, man. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Absolutely.
The last thing I got for you, Robbie, here, and this is a little premature, and we're going to have lots of conversations about this at points during the late spring and the summer. But what does Jamie Benn, Dmitry Orlov, Ekblad, Provorov, Besser, Giroux, Nelson, Pionk, Sam Bennett, and Patrick Kane all have in common?
Okay. They're not all going to be free agents, are they?
They're all free agents.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sam Bennett?
Yes, Sam Bennett is.
Didn't Bennett just sign a mega deal with them? Or was that Reinhart?
No, that was Reinhart. Was that over the summer or a year ago?
Yeah. Okay, that was.
Yeah. Sam Bennett could be. He could. I mean, this is like this year, UFA.
Okay. Oh yeah, Ryan. Okay, yeah, I see that now. I was looking at the wrong, the wrong Sam. Okay, so they're all going to be free agents.
Any of those names on there?
I think a report came out that Besser does not expect to be back in Vancouver next year.
Dude, how long has Besser been rumored to be a Pittsburgh Penguin? But where do you put him? You got Rustin Raquel.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, if you get talent like Besser, you find ways to make stuff work.
That is very true. Do you like Besser over a guy like Raquel?
He's a little bit younger. Will he be cheaper? Probably not. But I think I would a trade off between the age and the price. I think
that would make sense for you.
It's something I could stomach. Yeah.
And on that list, like, I mean, Sam Bennett is a guy that, like, he's. It feels like he's been in the league for like 25 years.
Yeah, he feels like he's like an aging out veteran, and he's only 28.
Especially when he has that huge mustache going, he looks like Lanny McDonald's son.
He does, yeah.
Dude, if you're Dubas, you're sniffing around on a guy like Bennett. You're sniffing around on a guy like Besser. As far as defenseman goes, the Penguins' defense is a mess. You know who's a good-ass defenseman is Dmitry Orlov.
Yeah, Orlov, he's in Carolina now?
Yes, he is in Carolina.
Okay, yeah. Orlov has been around. Orlov's another guy I feel like he's been around for about 20 years. He was on those really good Capitals teams that the Penguins knocked out of the playoffs. Yep. Obviously a young gun then, but has gained much experience since. But Orlov could definitely alter the look of that defense. That is for certain.
Orlov, Ivan Provorov, I think he's a little bit more of like on the puck mover kind of offensive side. I don't think the Penguins necessarily need a guy like that, but hey, you never know. You sniff around on a guy like that. Aaron Ekblad, known juicer now, suspended. Ekblad's, I'm surprised that he's not re-signed with Florida. I mean, wasn't he a first overall pick?
I'm believe so.
Like
I
one
could
of
be
those
wrong,
years where there wasn't a consensus, and
yeah,
I
it could
think
have
he
been.
was.
Yeah. Just
But
kind of looking through the list here of pending free agents. Nikolai Ehlers
Nikolai
sticks
Ehlers is
out.
another guy who's been rumored to go to Pittsburgh for like 10 years.
Ehlers sticks out. Obviously, Marner is his name's going to come up about 1,000 different times. Another guy that's been talked about in Pittsburgh. Don't think that he will. He's not going to be a game breaker, but Jack Roslovic.
Oh yeah, that guy. You hear about him? I've heard. I wouldn't mind. He's kind of a shifty little offensive water bug, right shot centerman.
One name that I wouldn't mind, Pius Suter.
Yeah, that guy's good too.
Yeah, another guy that could definitely fill big holes and could maybe even with the Penguin system find a way to even up them offensive numbers a little bit.
Would you take a sniff on Jamie Benn?
Probably not. I think Ben's about done.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of has had like 2 resurgences in his career. I don't know how many of those you got left. Yeah, I think he won like the Art Ross that one year where like the scoring was like way down.
He had like 86 points or something like that.
Yeah,
that was quite a year. Yeah, he definitely had a moment, that is for sure.
He did. Well, Robbie, UFAs, I mean, that's gonna be a hot topic, especially like once playoffs and Stanley Cup has been awarded, there's not going to be much to cover except movement with these players, and we'll be there to track all of it. But
we will.
We still got a couple of Penguins games to cover. You know, we're on Rust 30 goal watch for the next couple of games. And I mean, that's kind of all I really got for you, Robbie.
That sounds good to me. The Penguins are back in action on Sunday at 3:30 Eastern Time. Boston comes to town, a team that has completely bottomed out in a very hilarious fashion. And then they will wrap up their season next Thursday, the 17th, with the Washington Capitals. So will we see Alex Ovechkin in that game? I'm feeling like he probably won't be making an appearance on the ice for the Capitals, but who's to say? But as for tonight, the Penguins win 4-2 in New Jersey. Jersey is a team that's desperately reeling right now. The Penguins obviously have been well eliminated.
Confidently out of the playoffs.
Yes, but hey, we've known that for quite some time. But they're playing exciting hockey for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Don't waste these games of Sid.
No, enjoy them while we got them. Some changes are coming, but for the next 2 games here, we still have some 2024-2025 hockey to talk about before the playoffs start. But Snail, if you don't have anything else, I'm just going to wrap this up. And he said 2 thumbs up from Snail there. So for Snail, I am Robbie. Have a safe weekend. Stay dry, stay warm wherever you're at, and we'll talk to you guys next week.